soul is speaking to you all the time. Sometimes you don't get the message, right? You don't hear it, you don't feel it. It's just not in your experience, right? But you probably wouldn't be listening to this video or watching this video if you didn't have a desire to be in communication with your soul. Some call the soul's language intuition, or the still small voice, or a gut feeling. For the average person, though, they tend to feel challenged to sort of understand how the soul communicates. In some instances, their souls aren't talking to them at all, but your soul is always communicating with you all the time. You just may not realize how it's speaking to you. And so part of this is about paying attention, and part of it is understanding how you're receiving messages. Okay. So that's what I want to talk to you about today. So, first of all, how your soul actually speaks to you. So, when you know how the soul communicates, it's easier to actually have a conversation or to receive the messages, right? So, there are at least 6 ways that I can think of that the soul communicates with you. And when you know what they are, then you can begin to focus on them and see whether that's how you're receiving, if one or more of these ways is how you are receiving messages. So, the first way is through intuition. Okay, so I believe that intuition is the language of the soul, that's really how the soul speaks to us. It is a subtle voice that sounds like you. And so a lot of the time, you ask the soul a question, and what you get is an answer in your head that sounds like you thinking, but that really is the soul. So don't write it off as just a thought, okay? Because it's very likely the soul. Sometimes intuition is a gut feeling, like, just like butterflies in the stomach or something like that. And, other times it could be that your hair stands on end, or your ears ring, or you experience some other physical sensation like a pain in your knee, right? And that tends to be the physical manifestation of the soul speaking to you. Additionally, intuition can come as sort of a fleeting thought or a hunch, or even a recurring thought that you can't seem to get out of your mind. Okay, the second way is through sort of a change in state, like an inner peace or inner alignment. If you've ever suddenly felt calm, peaceful, aligned, tranquil, that could very easily be your soul speaking to you. Sometimes this happens when you're doing something specific, or you're trying to make a choice, and suddenly there's just this calm, and you know that whatever it is aligned. That's when you can kind of rest assured that whatever it is you're doing, the choice you're trying to make is that resonates with your soul and your authentic self, and is for your highest good. One of the easiest ways to notice that kind of a message from your soul is when things are chaotic, because when there's a lot of chaos and then suddenly you feel calm, that's a distinct difference, right, in your state of being. Okay, so the other thing, number 3, is there are some little bugs and they're making me nervous. All right, number 3 is synchronicities and signs. So sometimes your soul tries to get your attention with synchronicities and signs. And this could be that, you become aware of repeating numbers like 1111 or 111. I used to always say I never saw those kind of numbers. And recently I see 1111 a lot. I look at my phone and it's 1111. So that can be a sign. Also, and if that happens to you, pay attention to what you're doing in that moment or what you're thinking in that moment, because it's your soul trying to say, pay attention. I'm sending you a message. You could receive soul signs like in animals. Like if you see, snakes 3 times in one day, or 3 times in a week, or some other weird animal. Like sometimes I'm coaching and suddenly there's a lizard on the screen of my office, like climbing up the screen. And one time I was doing a video like this, and there was right in front of me, there was a lizard that hung out on the screen. So to me, those are signs from your soul telling you that you're aligned or you're in target or you're doing the right thing. Um, Sometimes, it could be that somebody's name is mentioned a couple times. It's like, okay, I need to call that person or I need to reach out to that person. The fourth way that your soul communicates with you is through dreams. And, when you're in dream time, all your walls are down, your human walls are down, and your soul can kind of speak directly to you in pictures and stories and experiences, right? And that's why it's so important to remember our dreams, because they're filled with images and symbols and experiences. And, if we can remember them, then we can actually explore them and figure out what those symbols and experiences mean. And we can learn some lessons and get guidance in that way. And the fifth way is passion, inspiration, and creativity. So when you feel passionate about something, when you feel suddenly creative or inspired, it's often your soul directing you towards something. And so it's a good idea just to follow that inspiration or that passion or that creative urge. Sometimes you will get messages while you're in the midst of pursuing your passion or doing something creative. And a creative endeavor could result in you realizing you've had a message from your soul. Like maybe if you painted a picture or you wrote something and suddenly you go, oh, well, that was a message. But that those kinds of things, creativity in particular and passion, tend to also be a way to be in communion with your soul. And inspiration tends to be, your spirit, your soul guiding you to do something. That's why you feel inspired. And the last thing is physical and emotional sensations. So, if you break a bone, you might look up in like Louise Hay's book, Heal Your Body, that specific bone and what it means or what a broken bone means. When I dislocated my shoulder, I looked up shoulders and dislocation and found out what Louise Hay says it means. And so that gave me some insight into why that would happen. And while that's a kind of a negative experience to break a bone or dislocate a shoulder, doesn't mean that it's not your soul speaking to you. So, you could stub your toe, get a migraine, look up the meanings of these things and see if there isn't something there for you. But you could also experience a shiver down your spine, the hair standing up on your arms, an itchy place on your skin. All of that is your soul communicating with you. So you want to turn into bodily messages because those are also the soul's way of getting your attention and guiding you to a soul-aligned experience or decision. Okay, so beyond knowing how the soul communicates with you, it's important to think about how to listen to your soul, right? Because a lot of times we're just so busy that we're not paying attention. We're just not listening. And so how do you do that? So first, stay conscious and aware. Keep those 6 communication methods in mind, be aware of them, look for them, pay attention. Okay. To be present, you need to be in the moment. You can't be in the past or the future if you want to get the messages from your soul. You need to remain in the present moment to notice them. You could keep a journal because the more you record, the more often you record, sorry about the barking dog. We have contractors here. The more often you record your experiences of receiving messages from your soul, the more the soul will begin to send them to you, and you're going to become more aware. So the journaling is a way of staying aware and also just saying, yes, I did get a message. And then trust. You don't want to get a message and question it. Just assume it is true, assume it is a message from your soul, and take action on it, and you will begin to get more messages. And then be quiet and still. How are you going to hear from your soul if you're constantly doing and constantly have noise around you? So turn down the noise, get quiet, stop the doing. And in the process of all this, you're going to receive lots of messages from your soul. You're going to find that you are receiving those messages all the time, and you're going to learn to understand them better. And last thing I would say is remember that the soul is part of you. So if none of this that I've just offered you is working for you, then just get quiet and ask a question and listen for the answer. You're going to get it. It might sound like you, but you'll get an answer. And that is your soul speaking to you. The soul is within you. It is part of divine mind. And so all you have to do is ask a question or ask for a message, and you should get one. Okay. That's it for today. I'm Nina Amir, the Inspiration to Creation Coach. I am a intuitive transformational catalyst. I love to help people discover how to step into being their best self. Elu going in and out. I love to help people figure out who they need to be to get from where they are to where they want to go, and to get out of their own way so that they can become the powerful creators that they are and create what they desire. So if that's of interest to you, if you're interested in personal and spiritual growth, then click on the link above for the Inspired Creator Community. You're a spiritual being having a human physical experience. And so the way to lasting change is by growing personally and spiritually, addressing the human part of you and the spiritual part of you, the soul. And so, again, if that's of interest to you, I offer both personal and spiritual growth coaching and trainings inside the Inspired Creator Community. And the goal there really is to get aligned with your soul so that you live a life that really feeds your soul. So if that's of interest, click above. It'd be my honor to serve you. Till I talk to you next time, go out there and achieve more inspired results.